As we start, we to observe a moment of silence in remembrance of all those who have passed, that we know and that we do not know. Thank you very much. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this quarterly EXCO media briefing of the Northwest Province. I am Brian Sitswambung, Head of Communication, located in the Office of the Premier. I will be facilitating this program today. Amongst us, we have members of the Executive Council, MECs. We have HODs as well. We have communicators, heads of communication, and we are also joined, and the briefing is to be led by the Premier of the Northwest Province, Re Lazarus Kagiso Mokhosi. Members of the media who are here today, you are heartily welcome. After the Premier would have presented the statement of the Executive Council, when you engage, you are requested to then identify yourself, your name and the media house that you represent. That will be appreciated. At this stage, it is almost 10:15. We hope to conclude the business by 12 o'clock. Therefore, I, at this stage, would like to invite the Premier to come to the stage and make a presentation.
No, thank you very much, Ntate Setswambung, who is our program director, our EXCO members present here today, heads of our different provincial departments, heads of communications in different departments, journalists present here and those following us on the various platforms, the residents of the Northwest Province. Bagaitso, good morning, Dumelang. Program Director, we meet here today on our quarterly engagement with members of the media following the country's successful hosting of the G20 summit, where leaders of top 20 economies in the world committed to advance a fair and equitable future for all. As a province, we pride ourselves with having hosted 3 key important events which served as a precursor for the first G20 summit to be held on the African continent. This includes the second G20 Education Working Group meeting, which was centered on improving access to early childhood care and education through building a strong educational foundation. The G20 stakeholders consultation, which focused on women, youth, and persons with disabilities, which was held at the MMC Special Schools in Taung. It was followed by the third G20 Shepherds meeting in Sun City, where our country put emphasis on advancing global South priorities such as inclusive growth, sustainable development, and social justice, as well as debt sustainability for low-income economies, critical minerals, and the just energy transition. Our country has firmly adjustment budget. This fiscal framework, where an additional 1.4 billion was announced by the MEC, is informed by encouraging signs of economic recovery that have begun to emerge across the country. The Department of Health, Education and Public Works and Roads received the lion's share of the budget. This is primarily aimed at keeping up with government's commitment to support effective teaching and learning, universal access to health care to all, as well as efforts to improve our road network infrastructure. Program Director, this quarterly media briefing comes at a time where our province is observing 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. We have also successfully hosted the commemoration of World AIDS Day in Tlhabane in Rustenburg local municipality last week Friday. As a province, we strongly support and are fully behind the fight against the two pandemics. The Global AIDS Strategy 2021-2026 impresses upon us to address health inequalities by ensuring that we strengthen our efforts in equitable access of HIV and TB treatment, as well as an integrated health services. As such, over 95% of people living with HIV and AIDS in our province, they know their status. And those who are on treatment are virally suppressed. Our province is leading the pack in drug-resistant TB management in the country with a success rate of between 84 and 86%. Our efforts in addressing health-related backlogs in the province have been given a boost by an allocation of 200 million rand of additional funding for employment of nurses and doctors. This includes the procurement of 54 ambulances that are expected to be delivered before the end of the year. We also take this opportunity to reaffirm our support for GBVF victims by strengthening our capacity in safeguarding the rights of women and children. We equally support President Cyril Ramaphosa's call in declaring this scourge a national crisis. As a province, we maintain that it is through inclusive growth centered on the empowerment of women and the creation of a fairer society that we can defeat this pandemic. Program Director, expediting provision of services and job creation remains the most two important apex priorities that the province identified as needing our immediate and ongoing intervention. Through deliberate developmental programs aimed at addressing these challenges, the Northwest Executive Council has approved the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy in May this year. This strategy, which is coupled with an implementation plan that provides a clear roadmap on the provincial efforts to ramp up the economy of the province through infrastructure development initiatives, will be launched next year in February ahead of the State of the Province address. The latest quarterly labor force survey, which depicts the creation of 42,000 jobs, marking a drop of 2% in unemployment figures, is indicative of a province hard at work to turn the tide against the scourge of unemployment in the province. Through agriculture, which is one of the main economic drivers, as encapsulated in the growth strategy, the province has succeeded in increasing both the scale and efficiency of crop production among smallholder and emerging farmers. So far, over 1,000 subsistence producers have been supported, and a total of over 80 million rand has been allocated to this initiative to strengthen agricultural support, food security, and rural livelihoods. Moreover, the Dunlop Wheel and Alignment projects, which have been launched under the auspices of Tunzalo Role, are now taking shape and will serve as a catalyst for the revitalization of local economic activities through market hubs for SMME development initiatives. In giving impetus to this promising trajectory, we will host the Provincial Summit on Investment, Jobs, and Mining. These summits will assist the province grow the economy, lure investment, and create avenues for diversification through minerals beneficiation. The road infrastructure initiatives are gaining traction by day, and government continues to register tangible progress on major road rehabilitation projects that support mobility, economic activity, and access to social services. Several road infrastructure projects in Mahikeng, Kgetleng, Kagisanong Molopo, and Ditsobotla in Danville towards the Sepaku mines have been fully completed, providing safer and more efficient movement for communities, workers, and freight vehicles. A 100 million rand investment on the yellow fleet has been delivered, and districts have been tasked to embark on a joint road maintenance initiatives to address some of the backlogs experienced across the province. Moreover, with the 201 million rand allocated to the province for the implementation of the Welisizwe Rural Bridge Program, we plan to create over 580 job opportunities in 14 of the identified projects. Furthermore, we have set aside 476 million of the provincial road infrastructure, of the provincial road management grant allocation for the rehabilitation and upgrading of road infrastructure through the utilization of block paving. By so doing, we will ensure that these projects are labor intensive, thus yielding the creation of more job opportunities. The Department of Public Works and Roads has been allocated an additional 256 million rand, which includes 150 million in the form of a disaster relief fund to address the repairs of roads and bridges that were damaged by floods earlier this year. Our Operation Bulela Metsi, which was launched in this province in collaboration with the Department of Water and Sanitation, as an intervention program to ensure that all households have access to water, continues to bear positive fruits. A 106 billion water supply intervention project is currently underway in Dinokana at the Ramotsiri-Muila local municipality to augment water provision for residents. At Ikageng Township in JB Max municipality, the construction of a 25 megaliter reservoir is on track to be completed next year by the end of March. The reservoir and the bulk distribution pipeline will supply water to communities in Ikageng Extension 1, 4, 5, 9, and 12, Poch Industrial, Mahodadin, as well as the north portion of Ikageng Extension 7. Other projects that are being implemented through the Municipal Infrastructure Grant, MIG, to resolve or augment water provision include the augmentation of bulk water infrastructure in Ipelegen, Swaziland at a cost of 131 million rand, which is about 90% to be completed. The city of Matlosane is also refurbishing the electrical and mechanical equipment in the water pump stations in Joburg, Ellington, Lorraine, Kanana, and Kuma to ensure consistent supply of water in the area. The 39.5 million project will be completed very soon. The water supply projects, which are at different stages of construction in Mahikeng local municipality, includes Madibe Atau, Lonely Park, Setlopo, and Mahikeng Rural Sanitation Project. A total budget of 385 million rand has been committed for all these projects. The Tabane Back Internal Water Reticulation, which has been allocated 58 million rand, is 96% complete, while the Letabong Internal Sewer Reticulation, toilet structures, and upgrading of wastewater treatment work is progressing very well. The project is being executed at a budget of over 140 million rand and is 82% complete. These efforts are a culmination of good governance practice that have been put in place to ensure that we meet our constitutional mandate. This assertion is further given credence by our provincial audit outcomes, which continue to demonstrate an upward trajectory as compared to the previous years. In the latest audit cycle, which ended in April this year, 8 of the 12 departments received unqualified audit outcomes, with the Department of Arts, Sports, Culture and Recreation and Provincial Treasury receiving clean audits. It's only the Department of Education and Health that received qualified audit opinions. We wish to indicate that the appointment of the departmental head of social development has been concluded. An announcement in this regard will be made in due course. The process to fill the vacancies for the Superintendent General of the Department of Health, as well as the head of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, has begun in earnest as their term of office is coming to an end in few months. We have also, dealing with what I've just referred, subsequent to this, after re-advert, we have deployed Ntate Obake Mongali to the Office of the Premier to coordinate the provincial segment of the national dialogue, while Mr. Mutupi Khatla will hold the fort as an acting SG of Health Department until the aforementioned process are concluded. Program Director, in strengthening the local sphere of government, the National Cabinet resolved to place the Tsobota local municipality under intervention in terms of Section 1397 of the Constitution a few months ago. Cabinet subsequently appointed a National Cabinet representative and team of experts to run the affairs of the municipality. The intervention has brought stability to the municipality, and the Tsobota is no longer hogging news headlines for all the wrong reasons. Furthermore, the investigations in Madibeng and Matlosane local municipalities have been concluded in terms of Section 106 of the Municipal Structures Act. This follows allegations of maladministration and corruption reported to the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. The recommendations will be implemented by the MEC for COCT. Investigations into Aing will be concluded before the end of the year. We also welcome the Supreme Court of Appeal ruling on the matter of the Naledi local municipality municipal manager. We implore the council to swiftly implement the judgment of the Supreme Court of Appeal, failing which will result in the provincial government intervening on the matter guided by the relevant legislation. Besides, the implementation of the mandatory financial recovery plans, the FRPs, across the 7 municipalities under interventions continues to progress positively. Ramotsere Muilwa local municipality has advanced to the sustainability phase, which is the final stage of the FRP implementation framework, and has existed financial distress. So the municipality has moved to the next phase of a crisis to sustainability. This achievement is a direct result of the municipalities embracing the FRP, including the adoption of a funded budget and qualifying for the second 1/3 EXCO debt write-off relief. Similarly, Dr. Ruth Sekgomotsi Mompati District Municipality has adopted a funded budget for the 25-26 MTREF and has commenced implementation of the sustainability phase. Based on this progress recorded to date, we anticipate that this municipality will exit the financial distress by the end of the next quarter. The provincial government commits to ensure that municipalities within the Northwest Province uphold sound financial management practice and accountability, in line with the Constitution and all applicable legislation. The provincial government, through the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, will also in February 2026 host the Provincial Local Government Kota Kote under the theme, Every Municipality Must Work. This is part of the ongoing commitment by the provincial government to ensure that all municipalities are functional, responsive, and accountable to the people they serve. Bagaetso, bogosi boa dibelwa, bogosi ga se kupe ga se letsotku ga bo itlolwe. And as a province, we have established investigative committees in terms of Section 59, subsection 2 of the Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Act 2019 to deal with traditional leadership and related disputes. We can report to the affected traditional authorities that the investigations are at different level of stages. And they are as follows. Bahurutsi Bagamuilwa committee has finalized its report and submitted to the Premier for consideration and implementation. Bahurutsi Bo Manyane, the committee has been reconstituted and will be introduced to the interested parties on the 11th of December 2025. Bahurutsi Bo Mokhetla in Kofi Kral, the report of the committee is still outstanding. It's work in progress. Bakwena Ba Mohopa committee is gathering oral evidence from witnesses. This is just an indication that we are at earnest intention to assist in resolving the disputes of the traditional authorities. The Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committee, the PICC, has officially launched the 2025 initiation season and has approved 446 traditional schools across the province. Re dira boikuelo go baagi ba province gore go se nne le borra kgotsa bomma mophato bape ba ba dirang dikolo tse di seng ka fa molaong ka seno se tsenya matshelo a bana ba rona mo kotsing. Now the province has activated the Safer Festive Operations on the 17th of October 2025. The operation, which is a multidisciplinary joint, what is called Provincial Joint Operational and Intelligence Structure, is coordinated and led by the South African Police Services. The operation, which has started on the 1st October this year, will run for 123 days until the end of January next year. This will be an all-inclusive crime-fighting operation. Part of the activities that the new enforcement will be focusing on is the January 8th event, which will be held in Moruleng for the 140th anniversary of the African National Congress. Preparations for the event are well underway, and the Prof Joint is hard at work to ensure the safety of everybody who will be attending that event. The key details for this year's Safer Festive Operations will include high visibility of patrols, intelligence-driven operations, and targeted actions against specific crimes. This will include gender-based violence and femicide, aggravated robberies, including hijackings and business robberies, and hence a broader security and protecting tourism and economic hubs, amongst others. We also welcome the rollout of the Ngaka Mudiri Molema commuter transport following a tedious and long court battle. As a result, many of our residents were left stranded and had to dig deep into their pockets to commute between various destination points in the Ngaka Mudiri Molema district. We wish to report to the people of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda that plans are underway to bring similar service close to them. This is the only district that does not benefit from a commuter transport subsidy. Therefore, we are far ahead in terms of our preparation that Dr. Kenneth Kaunda people must also be subsidized by government. The preparations ahead for Mahican cultural festivals are all in full swing. The 3-day, which will be held from the 12th to the 14th of December, is aimed at unearthing talent in our province while celebrating our cultural diversity in the form of music, heritage, and arts. The provincial capital has for years been known as a cultural melting point through genres such as performing arts, music, storytelling, poetry, and film. This event forms part and parcel of our ongoing efforts to build a strong events economy and reincarnate as well as reposition Mahikeng as a viable destination for arts, culture, and heritage in the country. In conclusion, Program Director, we take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Education for an incident-free examination period where over 40,000 full-time and part-time candidates sat for their matric examination. The preparations that went to this exercise gave confidence that we can do much better as a province. As we welcome this festive season, I wish all of you a joyful, peaceful, and safe holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a prosperous New Year. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the statement from the Northwest Executive Council. The opportunity is yours now. The statement is detailed, provides a comprehensive account of the work that has been done since the last engagement. So I believe that it is detailed enough. It gives you a lot of content. Let's check if there are hands. Let me take the first round of hands. Jabu will be the first. I see one hand so far. Is there any other hand? Second hand. I see 2, 3, third hand. Right, KG, you know from where? Okay, Jabu, if you could go that side.
Good morning. My name is Jabu Africa from the SABC. I have 2 questions for now. The first question relates to human rights violations that were produced by the Human Rights Commission 2 weeks ago. It has found that in the province, the 3 layers of government have a tendency of not implementing its recommendation. As a result, there have been numerous court cases that have been moving from the lower courts to the higher courts. What is the government stand in rectifying the reluctance of implementing these recommendations? Second question, the ongoing human rights violation experienced by the people of Motlhabeng that have been going on for 3 years, what are the immediate remedies to stop the sewer spillage moving from communities and into the river streams? Thank you.
Thank you. Second one.
Thank you, Restombung. My name is Obakem Maje from the Guardian newspaper. First question goes to the Department of Health. We understand that there is a shortage of orthopedic implants at Klerksdorp Tshepong Complex Hospital. And so many patients have been returned because the department could not assist them due to budget constraints and unpaid invoices. If the MEC of Health can clarify on that matter, when are they going to resolve this matter? Because so many patients with broken bones are languishing at various hospitals across the province without getting any assistance. The second one goes to Mayor Viola Mutsumi. as the Premier has highlighted that the Northwest Provincial Government is in support of GBV and femicide cases or related cases. There was a case, or there is a case in Kehakilwe Primary School in Tlakhameng, where a 13-year-old girl was raped or allegedly raped by a food handler. And this happened in the school premises. Instead of the school management of assisting the young girl who reported the matter to them, they sent her home. Until Monday last week, when the parents go to school and the community members to question how this matter was handled. Isn't any working relationship between the Department of Education and SAPS, including the Department of Social Development, when this matter arises? Wasn't the school management supposed to call the police and inform the social development about this matter? There's another GBV case when you go to Moshosho Primary School in Mante Village in Taung, where a young man, Elena, who is a 12-year-old, was allegedly assaulted by a SGB chairperson simply because it is alleged that he touched one of the learners, who is the daughter of the chairperson. He touched her palm. So this young man was severely assaulted and he was hospitalized. But how the school dealt with the matter, they only organized therapy or counseling for SGB chairperson and left that learner outside without any assistance. So how are you dealing with this matter? Last one goes to Me Wako Arts and Culture. No, this one goes to Mewako Detect. Just give us the status quo of Taung Hotel School and Convention Center, because we understand that the contractor was fired and then we expected that another one will be appointed, but things are not looking good that side. Thank you.
Thank you. Third one.
Thank you. My name is Sidi Bukhatile from the Weekender newspaper. I have a question for the Premier. A recent report by the South African Human Rights Commission stated, as is reported, that many municipalities within the province are collapsing. And it is citing severe failure in water and electricity supply, refuse collection, road maintenances, and other essential service deliveries. Now, my question is, how do you reconcile these findings, which amount to the breach of human rights obligation, with a government-stated commitment to improving or restoring service delivery in the province? Thank you.
Thank you. Tebe, do we have anything from online? Nothing. Okay. Oh, that's how we conclude the first round of questions. Let me see, Mitsumi, would you like to come first, maybe?
No, thank you very much, colleagues, and good morning once again. There is only one question directed specifically for the Department of Education from Ntate Obakeng Maje regarding the allegations, the sexual assault against one learner in Kehakilwe Primary School. I must indicate that as the MEC, I did receive a report, Ntate Maje, on the 24th of November, 2025, regarding the incident or regarding the allegations. Immediately as the MEC, I did act on the matter where I did actually refer the matter back to the district director for verification. And I must confirm before media today to say that indeed there was a confirmation from the district director responsible for Dr. RSM Memadi Tejani to say that as the department officially, we did receive a report regarding the allegations. As the department, we did act immediately. We did follow proper processes of disciplinary processes as we are guided by the policies and also we are guided by the Act. Immediately, because this issue is a very sensitive issue that as the department we cannot even tolerate, and we cannot even be apologetic when we are dealing with issues of gender-based violence, especially affecting both our learners and our educators. We acted immediately, where we issued out through labor directorate from the department. We did issue out immediately a letter of suspension, where the culprit or the alleged was officially handed over a letter where he was actually requested not actually go ka itlhagisa mo tirong until this particular matter is finalized. And I must indicate that as the department, through the district director, there was really engagements between us as the department and the parents, because we learned this thing later on, where there were also further confirmation from the parents to say that actually the learner or their child did actually report the matter to them. So as I'm speaking to you, the culprit or the alleged has already been served with a letter of suspension. We are going to follow proper processes. We were intending actually as the department to open the case immediately, because it is also our responsibility of making sure that we open cases against whatsoever related to this particular matter. But I must indicate that the case, it has already been opened by the parents. As I'm addressing the media, the alleged actually is arrested. That is why as a department we are unable to continue for now regarding the issue of disciplinary processes, because within 7 days we must go, he must be subjected to the disciplinary processes. But because of now we're unable to access him because he is currently in custody, he's been arrested. We'll await after bail is when now we are going to start with disciplinary processes. But the investigations are already in place by the Department of Education, so that we gather as much as more information as much as possible, so that when we start with the disciplinary processes, already we do have a relevant information. From where I'm seated as the MEC, the report that I received, by the way, is the procedural matter, is that as the department, we are supposed actually to seek counseling for the learner. From where I'm seated, the relevant people, they know what is expected from them. I believe that that particular counseling, it has been provided not only to the learner and also to the family and also to other learners who are actually affected. So that is the report, that is the progress report, how far we are as the department in handling this particular issue that actually happened in Kehakule Primary School. I must indicate that this particular matter, it has also been elevated premier. As far as the Office of the President, I've received calls from the presidency, from the Office of the Minister, even from Lituli. Actually, I received calls in terms of making sure that that issue is being addressed and arrested as a matter of agency. So that's where we are now. The culprit is currently in prison. We are awaiting for a bail. After a bail, that's where we are going to unfold in terms of the disciplinary processes. He received the letter immediately to vacate the premises, because we can't allow a situation where we receive such sensitive information and we don't address it as a matter of age. It was addressed as a matter of, ours is just to follow up on the processes after maybe the bail. The issue also, you have raised the issue of Moshweshwe Primary School. It is for the very first time, Etlamogonna is the MEC. But what I'm going to do, I'll definitely do follow up again. It is not actually only that particular issue that I've been actually receiving. Even during Twintsale role, the last Twintsale role, there were issues that were raised by community of Takameng to say that there are so many incidents where actually learners and teachers are being abused, but it seems like those particular issues are not being addressed as a matter of agency. So I have taken note of those particular matter, because whatever, if there's any incident that has occurred, principle dictates that the districts must make sure that they report the matter directly to the office of the MEC. So it is for the first time I'm hearing of this Moshweshwe Primary School. I'll definitely do follow up, and I commit to say that before the end of today, a formal media release, it will be released by the Department of Education regarding this particular matter, how we are addressing the issue of Moshweshwe Primary School. That were only 2 questions regarding the Department of Education. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, MEC. MEC Lehare, there's a question regarding an issue on orthopedics.
Thank you very much, Premier and colleagues. Orthopedics is big English. Yeah, okay. Now, the department is aware of the shortages which are primarily affecting the orthopedics department. The challenge on that stems largely from the exceptionally high demand for orthopedic intervention. In addition to saving patients from the Northwest Province, the hospital complex, Tsepong Klexop, is a tertiary hospital or a regional hospital. The CEO there is Mr. Madonsela. One day I will give you his contact so that he must also assist in clarity. Has been receiving a significant influx of patients from outside its designated catchment area, including the Free State, Botterville, Welcome, Kronstadt, and Veljun School, the Northern Cape via the route Sumuzi Mumpati district, part of Gauteng, as well as foreign nationals from neighboring countries. That is one reason why you have this challenge. Now, going direct to your answer, a journalist from Taung Freiberg. Measures are on place to ensure that patients receive timely and adequate treatment, which include correct referral pathways through the gatekeeping, adequate budget, and proper revenue collection, especially on those who can afford according to the financial classification. Further, I can take you on the sideline and clarify more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. I think that's properly clarified. There's one on human rights, MEC Molapisi.
Thanks very much. That is Swamung, and good morning. Premier, the question from Mr. Wa Africa on the findings and implementation of the human rights findings. Let me confirm that we last week met with the Human Rights Commission, led by the executive, its executive. We immediately agree that there is no need for us to justify or explain anything, because what they are raising is they live reality. We have that experience. We live in the province. We understand what is happening, and we can confirm the findings of the commission. What is important is our reaction to the findings in terms of the implementation of that. And to this far, I can confirm, Chair, that we have convened a MUNMEC meeting on Thursday with all the affected municipalities. we want to develop a plan because we need to respond in 3 months. We'll develop a plan as to how are we going to respond to that. With regard to the Motlhabeng issue, I must report here that the Ngakamudiri Molema, as a water district authority, is attending to the matter. Now, OCD, the general or sweeping statement that municipalities are collapsing, I think it's a little bit disingenuous. We don't use a one barometer to assess the functionality of our municipalities. I must confirm to you that we use 5 pillars of the back to basics, and we assess our municipalities based on this. And the AG report would be contrary to your suggestion or the notion that you are saying. Like I said, that we accept that the HRC has made some findings and we are responding to that. But our municipalities are not collapsing. If you had taken time to read the speech of the Premier in terms of the performance on the IMG, the Bulela Metsi program, that would tell you the progress that we are making, including the intervention that we have made in many of the municipalities that are struggling. Now, the barometer that we are using, like I said, that we look into issues like putting the people first, which involve the responsive to community needs, engaging with our citizens and all that. And we, from time to time, demand report from the speakers in terms of the meeting of the ward councillors with community members. We are not 100% there, but we can account as to the meetings that have been held by ward councillors with the communities. The second area is delivering basic services to our people, where we focus on efficient and effective delivery of essential services to our communities. And that would refer to the points that I've just referred you to in terms of the speech by the Premier. We look into the sound financial management, and that's where the AG would come in and tell you about those municipalities that are struggling, the improvement that are made by the municipalities and all that. And the Premier would tell you in his speech that we have made intervention in 11 municipalities in terms of your FRPs and the progress that we have made. He cited Ramotseri Muilwa and the Dr. Ruth Sekhomotsi Mompati. So I'm simply saying that there are interventions that we are making, and we are using the MPET, which is the Municipal Performance Assessment Tool, that look into all these areas. The last point, also just to take note of the intervention that we are making, is that the Deputy President has launched what we call the Clean City campaign. We have adopted that program, and we are implementing that program in all our municipalities. The MEC launched the program in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, where all the mayors, municipal managers were present and the speakers. And this program, it's aligned to your Tunzale Role program. Every Friday when we go to the program here, Accelerated Service Delivery at Tunzale Role, this program is a permanent feature into your Tunzale Role program, led by the MEC, because we believe that we have a resource based on the ground, which is your EPWP, CDW, all these people. That is over and above what the municipality is doing in terms of refuse collection and all that. So we assemble this team. We embark on this campaign. Expectation is that on a weekly basis on the programs the municipalities, is that they continue this program, so we continuously monitor them. So I'm saying we accept the findings, we are acting on that, but there are other areas that we are focusing on, and that is what the Premier would have outlined. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. We are moving to the second round. Oh, let me see. Oh, there's one for MEC Lunkopan before we move. Yes, there's one for you, MEC. You can come through leadership.
No, thanks. I think mine was not so important to respond to. That's why I also felt that we must move to the next round. However, the question related to the Department of Economic Development is on the hotel school construction. I must just indicate and take this opportunity at least to provide clarity, because there's a lot of information that has been pumped into that. But clarity is that that project of Taung Hotel School and Taung Hotel, let me say at the point of Taung, the hotel school construction is one of the 6 projects that are all clustered at that point. The first project was the hotel gate construction. The second one was the security fence to the hotel. The third one was the residence for learners. The other one was water reticulation and sewer control system. Now, this one is the 6th project related to the construction of a hotel. It is a project of a multi-year project that started a long time ago. And then this year, the financial year, we had an audit which had to cover the work from 2016 to date. And it revealed a number of things that the department had to undergo as part of the audit action plan. And amongst those would be to look into the irregularities that happened and to correct as the department. Now, when you get to that project, yes, there's no work happening that you will see in terms of construction, but there is a lot of work that is happening to respond to the issues that were raised by the AG, which I think the department is almost at a point of concluding the investigations, and also to conclude also the dispute between the department and the implementing agent, being the IDT, and also to respond to the findings of the investigations that are carried in terms of what the AG has revealed. So when we get to how do we then get to the communities must just bear with us, because we are at a point where immediately after the conclusion of the dispute with the implementing agent IDT, we are intending to explore other avenues of coming up with the implementing agent that will then carry the contract of construction of the hotel. The contractor was not fired. The contractor could not reach the agreement with the IDT, which is the implementing agent that appointed the contractor, which is the matter between the two. But where we are as government, we are confident that in the next, the commencement of the new year, we would then have dealt with all these issues that are raised, and then we will then have a new implementing agent who will be able to speed up the process. I must take advantage of this because Taung Hotel is also within the lines of Taung Skal, which we also have the same. It is also a project of a 6-in-1, where we have other projects like the Tumeng toilets that have been left because of the investigations around matters of the past of 2014. But as a department, we are doing well, and we hope that immediately upon conclusion of those disputes, which are disputes that are unavoidable and we cannot proceed without having dealt with it, because as a department, we cannot implement on our own, and we have to close shop with those that are implementing for us because they are not complying in terms of the agreements. Then we'll have the new implementation and implementing agents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the questions have been responded to. We are now moving to the second and the last round. Bonolo, is there anything online? Yes.
Thank you, Re Stombung. We've got one question on our Facebook platform. It is from a community member by the name of Komotso Sehloho, who is asking, MEC, kindly sort out the issue of Dr. RSM. The taxi industry haven't been paid since May during the Saske Music Competition Awards. We transported learners to Vryburg and Mahikeng from Lekwatemane in Bloemhof. Till now, the taxi industry haven't received their payment. Thank you.
Yeah, go that side.
Thank you very much. BC, I have 3 questions. The first question would go for the Department of Community Safety. Looking at currently that we are now observing 16 days of non-violence on women and children. There is one case that has been cited here. There is another that was cited on the 21st that went viral on social media, where the mother of the alleged perpetrator, who is the mother of the alleged perpetrator protected a 21-year-old. They had a confrontation with the mother of the survivor, who is 13. Our question is, what is the strategy that is there to deal with sexual assault, especially when it comes to minors? As it was cited, the defense of the alleged perpetrator was that the minor who was involved said that she was 13. Not 13, 16. And the alleged perpetrator only was in police custody, as it is alleged, for only 2 hours. Then he was released. Upon further investigation, the NPA declined to prosecute. The question is, the minor is 13. By law, it's statutory rape. It's over a year now. The case is still ongoing. The second one that I want to ask, the challenges that the department has faced, especially with scholar transport, what are they going to do so that they do not carry over into the next financial year? Third question, which goes to, I think, the custodian of the DDM model in the province. We have heard that the DDM model is being implemented. What is your learning experience from Dr. Ruth and the learning experience from Ditsobotla? And what is the plan to roll it out so that it does not perpetuate the non-service delivery in our province? Thank you.
Yes, okay. And who else?
Ke a leboga Rre Setswambung, ke dumedise. Potso tsa ka di ya ko helfo. Re Lehari. Potso e ke dula ke boeletsa kgapetsa ka di-quarterly EXCO yana. Melemo mo ditleliniking e dula ntse seyo ko kgaolong ya Ditsobotla le Mahikeng, bo Motlhabeng, bo Unit 9, bo Bladeville, ya chronic. Mathata di a tsaya kae mo ntlheng ya melemo. Re bone baagi ba ko Letlhakane maloba ba le hapele ga kantoro ya lona fale ba bua ka kgang ya tleliniki. Tleliniki ya ko Letlhakane kontraka e tla ya go tswella leng kontraka ya tleliniki ya Letlhakane. Ke a go gore Madoda Sambatha ka kwa lefapeng le la temothuo le le botlhokwa thata. go na le dikopo tse di tleng di tlhage go te baagi ba porofense ba ire di-application tseo tsa dikopo mme ba ro ka re la di anyisa ka letsele le nosi mathwinse a ga anyiswe sentle ka gore jaanong o itlhela le gore ba bangwe bone ba na le ditšhelete tsa gore ba ira di-business plan gore ga gona ka mokgwa o lefapha le ka nolofatsang dikopo tse di tleng di tlhage kgwedi le kgwedi kgotsa ngwaga le ngwaga tsa gore go ye go kopiwa go na le gore rela le ko Mmasebudule kwa a ba tluwe di-water rights o tla di bona kae di matsapa dio tseo ra leboga re molapisi le wena tonakgolo ko ditsobotla taramora ba itlhela mo dikantorong ba tšhaisa sentle ka 4:30 e seng ka 9:00 ra leboga ka ditsereganyo tseo tse di nnileng teng potso nngwe ya ko lefapeng la public works la ga mme Mokua dipula di nele bagaetsho melapo e tletse Welisizwe rural bridge wo programa a ya hela e lebeletse ko maborogo a weleng teng kgotsa e kgona go agiwa gape go agiwa maborogo a mantšha ke a go mme Viola Motsumi mme re lebogise bana ba Marematlou le batsadi ba ba setseng ka dikoloto tsa bo matšhonisa ka ntlheng ya dikempe tse di batlang madi a tsitsibanya mmele tonakgolo ke bua jaana ko Batswana mo ba tshwere tsa jaretla setse di batla 10,000 rand 9,500 ka school fees sa 3,500 yaanong o tlaela tlhoko gore tonakgolo le botlhoka tiro ka yaanong dikempe di jela bagolo madi a ko puso le ke go tsereganya mo kganye ya dikempe ka gore bana ba ba kwa di-exam ka stress bagolo ba na le stress you can imagine gore gone yaanong mogolo o kopileng gore ko Batswana ke tla duela bikinyana o ikutlwa yang ka 9,500 ya tshantseng a e spend go sena ditiro jaaka go sena ditiro jana a ko go tserega ngwakgang ya dikempe ka gore e tsenya bana ba stress e tsenya le bagolo stress ka gore wa gago wa camping wa ka hae o kwala le sehuba se molangwana ke a heta hao tonakgolo mme ke sehuba se molangwana ga ke tlhaloganye lenaneo le la thuntsa le role ne ke itetse ke re ka le tlhaloganya maloba ne ke maketse tota ke bile ke ipotsa rena re gate go diragalang tonakgolo ga ne go togiwa ko ditsobotla go buiwa ka bo di-brick project tsa bo 2015 be ke makala gape mo tseleng e re yang Bosula ya thusong go ya go itsoseng go di thuntsa le rola go heta mo tseleng e senang la le metlhala ke be ke botsa ke re nya ba getšho mo semanane wa di-brick laying ke ya 2015 tlhalosa sa baagi ba porofense gore thuntsa le role o tsamaya ka tekanyetso kabo ya dingwaga tse feng ka gore ga o lebelela 2015 le 2025 go togiwa thuntsa le bo go bua ka project ele ba nkarabile ko kantorong ya go ba re is to unblock diprograme tse nne di le gore di saletse ko morago mare e tsamaya ka tekanyetso kabo e feng a mme ya ngwaga tse pedi tse di hitileng a re setse re e jele mo go thuntsa le role kgotsa we unblock tsa ngwaga tse di hitileng ke a feta ke a go mme bitsa leng kopane le ba safety reversal semorweng ke se bua se molangwana tota mme bitsa leng kopane go metšhininyana mo dishopong ke bua gape ke boeletsa potso e ga go to go thuntsa le role maAfrika ka rona ba tswala dishopo ka gore ba itse gore ano mapodisi a teng ba tlo go tsaya metšhini ya mo China go na le mo China o sala metšhini e morago from Vennesdorp go tsena ka Mahikeng e ya di-2 you can imagine gore le ga o tsena mo shopong gone yanong go gembola bana ba jara tse kae mo dishopong tse tsa maforeina a ko go nne le matsholela a tsitsitseng a nonneng a bonang gore metšhini yo le mo China o a tswa Vennesdorp a tla tsa di-2 mo dishopong go ne le tiragatso ya molao e gagametseng ke a bona dibara di a bulwa ka Sontaga le di-bottle store di a bula ka Sontaga nya ke tiro ntle gore ditiro di nne teng mme re morweng o ka re jaanong le bana ba ba ideetse thata mo notaging bo rra dikgwebo ba di notagi le bone ha re bua ka safer festive season o ka re le ka tsetsepela thata mo matlong a kgatsela a tau ka gore go re thulanela le bana ela re thulana le bana o tla ba bona ka mahikeng ra go thulanela le bana o ka re go ka gagamala thata mo dithabeneng tsa rona ba gaetsho go lebelela gore safer festive season e nna teng le mo kgweding ya tšhotlhakako ke a leboga rre Setswambung ke bona o nte ba wa re nako ile ke a leboga rre
lekane go ntse go lekane no ke a go leboga o leile Mrs. Sambata, can we start with you followed by Mrs. Molapisi? Oh, I'm sorry. O leile o botse di question tse dintsi thata ya no o itse ke Okay.
There are allegations that one MEC is dragging Northwest Premier to court over the control of 798 million Development Corporation. Premier, is it true that you've been dragged to court? If it's true, what are the financial implications? Is the taxpayers' money involved? One-on-one. Thank you.
Imagine. Okay. Let me first deal with what I wanted to raise. But it was not a question to any MEC. It was an issue of gender insensitivity. And it came from Majay himself. Now, when he asks MEC of Health, he says MEC of Health. In the two MECs, he says Me Viola and Me Pizza. That's gender insensitivity because MEC, it's not Re or Me. Had he said to MEC Health, Really Harry, I was going to keep quiet. But he says in Amen, MEC, and says on the two colleagues, me. Yeah. That's what I wanted to attend to earlier on. Thank you very much. Let me go to the question. CASP applications. Now, in page 4, the Premier is reporting about subsistence farming. He says above 1,000. To be correct, it's 1,086 in 1 year. 1,086 is correct. Now, if you go to the question of CASP applications, the current year, 2025, 2026, the approved ones, it's 1,700. Now, because you are responsible for telling people stories, tell them it's 1,700 plus 1,086. The two are for this financial year. The other category is subsistence. And this other category is CASP funding. Now, here is a problem. When the advert goes out, the advert that we are finalizing appointments on, key advert here 2026, 2027, it's going to be finalized next week because all provinces must be presenting to national on the 9th of December for approval for that financial year. When it goes out and says, please apply, what happens is that someone whose level is subsistence farming applies. And that person does not apply and say, I apply for business development, because it's both. You can apply for financial assistance with every input you want to use in your farm. That means you are a farmer who has a business plan. It means you are a farmer who has water rights. It means you are a farmer who has an approved operational place. But the one whose subsistence, who's a startup, does not say, I apply for business development, which is part of the grant. When you do adjudication, if you don't have water rights, you don't get through. Now, the business development one is meant exactly for people who are like those. If you don't have water rights, you don't have a business plan, you apply for business development. Once you do that in this financial year, in the next financial year, you will then qualify because the department would have helped you this year to qualify on all the requirements. So we're now doing a separation. We must call for those that need business development separate from those that need financial coverage in terms of their business operations, so that it's clear when you know I'm starting and I don't have business, I don't have water rights, I don't have a business plan, you apply for business development separate. And then when you know you now qualify, you then apply for CASP. The only thing that would then block you is non-availability of budget, because the budget is limited. It's not going to be because you don't have a water rights or a business plan. It's because we would have helped you to get the two prior than that particular year. That's what we are going to do. That's true. It happens to everybody, and it's because everybody applies for one grant and they don't specify, even those that they know on the requirements, they don't qualify. They should have applied for business development so that we help them with a business plan. We help them with water rights. We're working very well with the Department of Water and Sanitation. And that one, business development, it's up to a maximum of 500,000. Pure business development. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. I think the question from that Jabu is with regard to the DDM model that is being implemented and the experience. Now, you made mention of D. Zobotla and Dr. RSM in terms of the experience. Let me first indicate that the DDM approach, it's aimed at coordinating and integrating government program from all spheres of government, where you have one budget, one plan. So it means in that district, you would know that government departments have these plans in place, both from national, provincial, and at the municipal level. The president has appointed the champion from the levels of ministers, deputy ministers. The premier has, at the level of the province, appointed the MECs to be champions in different districts. So we are done with that. The intention is really to ensure greater collaboration, integration. If the Department of Education is going to, in terms of your spatial development, there are areas that are reserved for further development in terms of establishment of schools, clinics and all that. The Department of Health would know when are we going to build a clinic here. The Department of Education would inform in terms of their program and in terms of their plan when are they going to build a school in that area and all that, and what is the budget in that. So the intention is really, like I said, is to enhance integration, collaboration, but also to ensure that there is a proper monitoring of all the projects that are being implemented by government, because you have these champions from the levels that I've referred to. But also, how do you bring in the private sector as part of your partners on areas of development? So we have so far ensured that in all the districts we review and adopt these one plans that I've referred to. We look into the catalytic projects that have been implemented at various levels. There are districts that are moving, I must say, and there are districts that are still lagging behind. So in our discussion with the Premier and MECs and the mayors through the Premier's Coordinating Committee, we are also looking into this, if the structure is gaining any traction in terms of the implementation of the projects that I've referred to. We are doing this to avoid the fragmentation of the past, where we, as government, we appear to be parachuting like a helicopter. You know, a helicopter, when it lands, is parachute. People just see it landing. People don't know what is happening in all that. So we are trying to avoid that fragmentation, but also taking important information to our people. Because if you empower your councillors, your municipalities about all the projects that have been implemented by government, government in its entity, then councillors are able to account to the communities as to the projects that have been implemented by various government departments. And I think that's where we are. Thanks very much. I think that was the only question, Restwamu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. I'm going to request MECs Linkopane and Moroeng. There are two questions. There are questions that relate to both. The one on the gambling machines, bottle stores that open on Sundays, safer festive seasons. Yeah.
No, thank you very much. Let me sit on the established protocols and greet everyone in the room. The question spoke to 16 days of activism and what is the strategy that we have in place to deal with the issue of gender-based violence and femicide. The Honorable Premier, in his opening statement, he spoke to the Safer Festive campaign that the department has launched. At the helm of the campaign, it is the issue of the gender-based violence and femicide, but also to indicate to members of the community that our role as the department is the oversight, wherein we've got a secretariat in our department. Be that as it may be, we understand that the more often than not, our cases are having a challenge at the level of the prosecution. Be that as it may be, we have held various meetings with the DPP to try and address the issue. And we are also calling on our community members, cases of this nature, they must also bring it to our attention through the Chief Directorate of the Policing Secretariat for us to look into these cases. They must try by all means, even if they don't find joy in that regard, to elevate the matter to the level of the HOD and the MEC, because we have resolved many cases of this nature. Others are happening without our knowledge, but our communities must utilize these services at our department. As I've indicated, that we are charged with the responsibility of playing an oversight with regards to these responsibilities. But we have prioritized the matter, like I've indicated in our activated Safer Festive campaign. We spoke to the issue of gender-based violence and femicide as being the #1 priority in all the crimes that we'll be targeting throughout the campaign and beyond the campaign, of course. The other question was with regards to illegal gambling, but I think I'll leave that to the MEC, although the question overlaps to our department. And then the other question spoke to scholar transport. What are the strategies that we are implementing in place to make sure that we avoid the problem overlapping to the next financial year? You would agree with me that we are currently steering the ship in the correct manner. We have not been having incidents recently. The established war room that the MEC established, that is led by the HOD, is doing a wonderful work to try and process invoices on time to avoid the challenges that we have been having. In terms of the operations, we are working hand in glove with the Department of Education and then the service providers to improve the services. The appointment of the panel that we have used as a troubleshoot to come in place wherever we're experiencing problem, it is working quite well. And those that are found to not to be compliant, they've been terminated. And then that panel that I spoke to, it has been promptly responding whenever there's been challenges. So far, we are working very well, and we've got measures in place through, of course, the war room that we have managed we have managed to capacitate it and bring more personnel to it to process the invoices. And we have also been on the ground through our traffic officials to check compliance, to immediately terminate the buses that are not compliant. So far, the services are running very well, and we also have the measure in place to avoid the problem even recurring in future. So I think I've addressed all the questions that were related to my department. Thank you.
MEC Lenkopane, tax shops.
No, thanks. I think MEC Morueng and myself to respond to the question on illegal gamblings. It must be noted that whilst we agree that we have not done enough, that would have dealt with that completely. But of the 9 provinces in the last engagement that we have at the level of national, Northwest has even received an award of public awareness creation on responsible and illegal gambling approach. We have programs that we have introduced as a department that intensify creation of awareness on the issue of trying to combat both illegal gambling and illegal gambling, irresponsible gambling, and irresponsible drinking and irresponsible trading on liquor. So we have such programs, and I think the MEC will roll out more on public awareness in terms of putting even those awareness after integrating the business licensing and the liquor trading. That is why the new license has got that provision. But we are also, as the Northwest, have created, have done a submission to the Department of Trade to start to engage on getting to the Parliament to have an engagement on reducing, on increasing even the age of entering into the space of liquor trading outlets. To say we must move from saying 18 to at least increase it to 21, so that we see that the 18-year-olds are now at the age of which is similar to 16, and that then creates attraction to those that are younger. However, it's a matter that is still under discussion, but we have intensified awareness. We are doing well in terms of the Chinese that is trading. It is very true. We have one Chinese guy in the name of Ching with the number that starts with 076. All these illegal machines that we are repossessing in all the outlets have got that number. The guy was arrested in Vryburg, and we had to repossess all the machines. Again, he was arrested in Gauteng. He was again arrested in Rustenburg. From time to time, he repeats himself, and he is having all the sections of this province trading with our own people. So we are pleading with the people who are doing business, especially the tax shops, that we must not allow that to happen, because in that machine, it's not only the illegal gambling, there are even pictures, the pornographic pictures and other messages that triggers with the mind of our young people, and it has got also the drug-related messages. So it's something that we are working on. The department has advertised, because we also want to intensify issues that relate to the inspectorate on that to now partner with tuck shops and other operations. But we also have a challenge even with our own staff. We have effected about 2 dismissals where our own inspectorates also got triggered in the space, and they were then found with the same illegal machines now doing the same, colluding with those that are doing that. So it's the 7th administration is very clear that we are not going to leave anyone behind. Those who want to join us in fighting this will be together, and those who are partners in crime will also be dealt with. But we are doing very well as a province to curb that. Thanks.
Thank you very much, MEC. We are now going to take MEC Mukua to be followed by MEC Lehare, MEC Butsumi, and then the Premier will close.
Thank you very much, Ntate Stramung. Let me take this opportunity to greet the Honorable Premier, Ntate Lazarus Mkhosi, and Honorable MECs, HODs that are here, and also the media. Let me appreciate and thank you, Ntate Ulifile Vilakasi from Northwest on Sunday for giving us an opportunity to further clarify the responsibilities of public works that we are ensuing up until now. It is important that we tell the people of the Northwest that the Welisizwe Bridges, as it is a program that was promulgated by the President. It is a special presidential program. Now, with this particular Welisizwe Bridge, the President realized that the villages and, and the neighboring towns disconnectivity due to the quality of the bridges needs to be resuscitated and made better. So that is why the Welisizwe Bridge. Now, us as Northwest Province, like other provinces, because these bridges are in our provinces, we make requisitions and they are assessed by the National Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. And I must say that the implementer is the National Department of Defense Force, working together with the Department of Public Works. It is important also to tell the people of the Northwest that thus far, the Department of Public Works and Roads, through the support of the offices that I have mentioned, we have handed over thus far 5 bridges in different villages in Ngakamudirimulema necessarily, and we are busy also completing 2 bridges. And now you were talking about the disaster. It gives me an opportunity to tell the people of the Northwest that we made, after assessment, we have made the determination that we will need 150 billion to fix all the bridges in the province, to make sure that they are trafficable and they are also safe to be used by the communities out there. But unfortunately, we have received 150 million. But it is important also to say this 150 million, we are now going to concentrate in the areas in Bojanala, especially Moretele, to make sure that those particular bridges, because we know that there are villages also that are disconnected from amenities, so those are going to be attended. You know, if we can be given money to complete these bridges, we'll do it as soon as yesterday. Unfortunately, it is not possible. Now, I hope that we are together in regards to that particular question. The other question was dealing with 2 roads that are almost closer to one another. It is D933, which was at 25.8 kilometers, which we have almost completed. Safe to say we are only remaining with 5 kilometers that we are still to complete to base. But I'm saying that at least the NCOP also went as part of the oversight. They can attest to what I'm saying because they also did visual assessment on those areas. The other road that you referred to is the D2095, which is from Dartfield to Sepaku. That one, I'm glad to say it is fully completed. It is also a road that, we had to make sure that we leave everything and make sure that it is completed because the NCOP also raised the issues with regard to that particular road. I hope that I have answered all the questions, and for that, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much once more. Zitomu, thank you. Today you look bright, so thank you. Two questions from Northwest on Sunday. One, medicine availability. Number two, ababuaka letlhakane clinic project. Alisimulaga medicine availability. The threshold are national. But hello, the medicine how yasin logo batung, yasin logo the clinic, yasin logo the facility, you must be around from 80% national threshold. Now in the province, we are at 85%, 5% above national. If you go back to school, 85% is symbol A. So there is no symbol after A, is the last. So we are doing well in the province. What we'll do, colleague from Northwest on Sunday, before the 20th of this month, that is December, the 20th will be on Saturday. So before that Saturday, we'll visit Budiwe Clinic, Unit 9 Clinic, and Motlaben Clinic. Because you are saying every quarter you are raising this question. So we'll come there with a program called Ribona Kamatlo. Please, if you are available, I'm inviting you with transport. So that next time you don't have to come in and say no, another quarter. So we are coming there. Now, only Tlhakane Clinic, the department has terminated the contractor there. Simple reason, poor performance. And the department is in the process of appointing a new contract soon, very soon, not with immediate effect, very soon. So soon is any day that is coming. So I'm done. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much once more, and let me take this opportunity to welcome all the questions raised regarding the Department of Education. There are only two questions. The first question is in relation with outstanding payments regarding your SASCA transportation, specifically for your Dr. RSM. I must indicate that indeed, I must confirm to say that I've received that particular concern via Facebook Messenger. That particular issue is receiving an attention. We've taken that particular matter from the district to the acting CFO to intervene where necessary. But most importantly, I think one must indicate that even the Premier, in his address today, he did make an emphasis when it comes to the Auditor General outcomes to say that the two departments that are still lagging behind is the Department of Health and Department of Education. And in most instances, the reason why we are being qualified as the Department of Education is because of such issues, where compliance, in most instances, it is not adhered to. For example, I've received a comprehensive report regarding the processes that the Dr. RSM undertook in making sure that they procure those particular taxis. According to the report, proper processes actually they were not followed. As the submissions that was done at the level of corporate, the submission is not compliant. Where there were issues of certificates of roadworthy of those particular taxis, actually they are still outstanding. So how do you start to do payments whereas proper processes were not actually followed to the latter? Which is something that actually, as the department, it might be seen as something minor. But when Auditor General is auditing, he wants all the processes to be followed to the letter. So we are addressing the matter. It is receiving the attention of the acting CFO. We are definitely going to make sure that those outstanding payments are being done so that to avoid unnecessary disputes or litigations or letters forwarded to the Office of the Premier for intervention. So we are going to make sure that before we close this academic year, all those outstanding payments are being done, but accordingly, ka melao le melawana. So the colleagues must bear with us so that we follow proper processes to the latter. Secondly, Premier, is in relation with the issues of camps, which is something that I've been emphasizing throughout the academic years since ke le teng mo Department of Education. You see, the reason why your Free State province will forever be #1 in terms of performance of the grade 12s, it is because they excel in terms of implementation of LAIP. Ha re bua ka LAIP, re bua ka Learner Attainment Improvement Program. E leng gore ke rona, actually the founder of the LAIP. We are, as the province, we are implementing it correctly, but we are still lacking when it comes to the support from the stakeholders. Premier. As the department, we are spending millions and millions over this particular camps because we don't want to leave any child behind. But where is our parents? What is their contributions? As the department, unfortunately, when it comes to the grade 12s, not only the grade 12, starting from now on, as a province, we have to emphasize the importance. The parents must come in because these particular children also, they are their children. We have spent more than 20 million specifically for these particular camps. So where are the parents? We are giving our learners free food each and every day. The parents, the teachers, they are spending sleepless nights without even getting any stipends or any salaries because they go all out because they know or without them as the department, we won't be able to achieve our goal. But it can be correct that each and every day, even 100 rand, the parents are unable to contribute, just sacrifice for 100 rand for the sake of their children's education. I think we have to do something, Premier, starting from January. We must have an awareness where we emphasize that we need parents. Parents now must come in and contribute because it can't be everything all about the government. Now we are struggling. The Premier does not even know what to do. We are providing breakfast and only lunch. But because we have to redirect some other money to this particular camps where actually the parents are refusing dismally to contribute towards the future of their children. So, Premier, Free State will be forever #1. That one is a fact. I have to live with it. Because when it comes to camps, they go all out. They contribute more than government. Babolela government gore ke nako ya rona, lona le contribute from January until now. Now is our responsibility as parents because re batla go bona re na le di successful camps because those particular camps, they are there actually to assist the very same learners. Ha ma teacher a khona go volunteera go rona re tlo go bereka Monday until Sunday without actually sleeping with our families, without getting anything from government. The parents on diko kae. So ke khanana le that particular journalist, and I've been saying it even last year. Bagolo ba rona, they must join hands with government if really they want to see the Northwest Province in the successful camps ever. There are schools, there are school governing bodies. They are the ones that take decisions. And the parents are part of the school governing board. Actually, they are the ones who elected the very same leadership to represent them on their behalf. If there is an SGB in Botswana, secondary school, where the SGB has taken a decision to say that for us to have successful camps is for the parents to actually contribute this particular amount. When we isolate from that particular decision, it becomes a problem. I think also the journalists, different news media, they must start now to assist us in making sure le bone ga ba ntsha message out there. Their message is to encourage and motivate and remind the parents to say that as the Department of Education, we can't do anything without their contribution. Bagolo, like I said, we are having non-fee schools. Learners are supposed to get free stationery and free textbooks and make sure that we allocate them educators. And at the same time, as the department, as government, we are expected to provide them with breakfast and lunch because we know that they are from disadvantaged background. We don't want to see a situation where a learner will end up a dropper out. Why? Because the parents cannot afford. Or the last class, ya grade 12, throughout 11 years, government e make sure gore e fa ngwana support. Mo di last go bofelelo mo feleletsang teng yanong gore o re fe support ya gore you contribute something towards camp ya gore e thuse ngwana gago, then you are here, you are indicating to say that the parents are fed up because they don't want to actually assist government in terms of camps. So I'll be having an awareness starting from January. An expectation is to see these journalists all over the province where they are now starting to remind the parents to say that let's start now to save for our children. Gore ha re reach the October, already the parents e be le gore o kgonne go ka compromise that madi gore a kgonne go ka thusa government go a kopela. I still maintain Premier. Without parents, as the Department of Education, we are nothing. Your contribution, it will mean a lot to us if really we are serious about improvement of our results as the Northwest Province. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs., for the comprehensive responses. Premier Owabofelo Okharela.
No, thank you very much, Ntate Stwambu. Tota nka bo ke ile ka Setswana ke re maho kwa mantle otlhe. Maho kwa kgosi a mantle otlhe. Ya no re lebogise gore the MEC adequately responded to questions. But I'll just make some few comments. You see, when a society or a nation grows, government must respond to the growth of the society and the nation. That's the most important thing. Now, government works on an allocation of resources. And government gets resources from different sources to allocate resources to programs that are intended to serve the people. Now, if the economy of the country is not growing at an expected rate, if the capacity of the state to collect tax is not at an expected capacity, government will not have enough money to satisfy everybody. But going back to a growing nation, the more children are born, the more you need more houses, medical support, social support, other related needs. So we will never stop at any point where everybody has a house, everybody has a job, everybody has a school, nobody pays anything, everybody has a toilet, because there is always a growing society. Now, that's why every time you need to plan and put a plan that says in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, how are we going to respond to this challenge? And what are the patterns of development? So it's important that that understanding must be there. Kore, go tshwana le fa re re, we expect at a particular time everybody to be perfect. Now, if there has to be perfection, then there is no reason to live at any particular time. That's why re ya kerekeng. Re rapela, re rerelwa, mara sentse go na le badira dibe. Ba ba tlhomolang moloi pelo. Ba teng. Mara batho bao ba tsena kereke Sontaga le Sontaga. For the entire years, it's a 70-year-old person. He has been going to church since he was 5 years old. Mara sentse a dira dibe tse di tshosang. A ba re Modimo a mo itshware. Because there's nobody who's perfect. So there's always an improvement. Now I'm saying government will continue to improve in terms of the little resources that are there. How then are we using them to the maximum utilization? Because the importance is with the little that we have, how are you utilizing it? If you then allow leakages in the little resources that are there, then there is a problem. Because you must maximize with the little that you are provided. So responsibility ya rona ke gore go ska ga nna le tshenyo mo mading a puso a manyenyane a re tshwantse re a dirise ka kelotlhoko, and every little cent must go where it means. And that is why tshwantse re ska ra nna le any appetite or attitude e reng re tolerate anybody o jang madi a state a intendileng gore a thuse batho. We must just have a no attitude ya corruption. No, I was just saying that we should start at that point. But just to comment on issue ya ko Motlhabeng, and the municipality has appointed a contract to deal with the issue ya this spillage. Now the project is there, is going very well. The challenge that we have also there is this current pipe. The new pipe. But the problem with this pipe is that there are people deliberately who are vandalizing that line. Batsenya maje, batsenya dikoro, batsa dikoloi, and so on. Deliberately. I'm not sure for what and for whose interest. And that has forces the municipality to also appoint on an emergency basis another contract to deal with that challenge. Now, I'm saying what we should be doing now as government is to speed up this contract, a new line, so that re tlhokise ditlhokatsebe tse go dira tiro ya go blocka deliberately. Whether you don't know whether is it for political reason or is to create chaos. But the reality is that we are going to deal with this thing, and we feel very strong that the sooner it's completed, the better, because then there will be not this problem. I think MEC Mulapisi has agreed that we at Metro, yes, we have challenges as it relates to human rights issues and the capacity of the state to respond. And no doubt, nobody disputes that all of us in this hall and in this country, it's a constitutional right to have all these human rights. It's there and we must protect them. But as we do that, we look at the municipalities that we are speaking about to say to what extent these municipalities are at a capacity. We may say a lot of things, including revenue enhancement. To what capacity can they raise funds to even now sustain all these human rights that we are speaking about? The provincial government, in terms of allocation of resources, to what extent are we able to have sufficient or enough allocation of resources to cater these things? So key to it is that with the little that we have been allocated, we must respond to all these challenges. We must be able to demonstrate how are we responding within the means that we have been allocated. That's why there is also collaboration. Collaboration of all spheres of government within the context of DDM when we want to make an impact as we intervene in a municipality. Because, look, we have public works. We know that our municipalities, they don't even have equipment, they don't have machinery. Public works come in, assist in an area where they are not supposed to. Is how we are collaborating as spheres of government. as we buy all these big machines for pothole patching, we go into municipalities, we at times even procure for our roads. We also then donate to municipalities, asphalt and so on, for them to be able to deal with these issues. So it's important that we agree that, yes, these human rights are there, we agree, but all of us are respecting them, and we ensure that all of us demonstrate our full commitment. But we believe that these challenges will still remain there within the specified period, because if we cannot be able to demonstrate how we are going to utilize the little that we have, then there must be an issue in terms of the capacity of the state to respond to this. But I've received this report, Human Rights Commission. The office is also looking at it, as the MEC said. Once we have comprehended, then how are we going to respond to it? And there must be some kind of an implementation plan, including our local municipalities, to say issues raised by a Human Rights Commission, how are we responding to them? And I think they are alive also to our own challenges. But if we demonstrate our commitment, I think the Commission will understand what we are doing. The next issue is the Tunzale role. And I think we have explained Tunzale role on a number of occasions. That Tunzale role, it's not a program that has a separate government funding. Budget, even in the legislature, people always ask about the budget for Tunzale. There's no budget set aside for Tunzale role. Tunzale role is a program of government that is intending to accelerate service delivery within the agreed budget allocations, within the agreed sets of targets for a particular financial year. So we are not creating something new. What we are just doing, because we believe that our people are impatient with the manner in which we are delivering services to them. Now we're saying, let's accelerate this thing. That's why when we go to our communities, we go there and even have a session with them to listen to their challenge, because it's also an interactive program to be closer to our people and understand much better. At times you go to an area in a municipality, there is no water, but there is no clear reasons why there is no water. When we are there with Tunzale, we go on site to these boreholes. And at times when we arrive there, it's just a switch. Somebody could not put it on. At times when we arrive there, the borehole is not energized. The borehole has not been maintained. And municipality can't explain why. Now, as we are there, we intervene. Those things are being done. Now, we are merely saying that it must be understood in that context that it's not a budget put aside and so on. And it's true, when we go to an area, we'll be told that here is a brick-making plant. It was launched in 2015. In the process, Public Works stopped the project. And clearly, Public Works will explain that there were financial challenges in that particular financial year. There were budget cuts, we had to stop it. But what is the importance of this brick-making plant at the current moment with such high levels of unemployment? So it's our role. When we take a decision that to resuscitate that project, it doesn't mean that there was money, we don't know where the money went to and so on. It's because the project could not be sustained from a financial point of view and it was stopped. Now we are taking a conscious decision to resuscitate it. So that's what we did even when we were in this Sobot. Now I'm saying budgets of Tunzale role are budgets allocated to departments, are within the targets that have been identified, and we are just accelerating service delivery and we interact with our people for proper understanding. The last issue is the issue that you raised, the issue that speaks to Premier being dragged to court. No, you see, it's important that we understand how government works. And I know that you want a juicy story on the matter very much. You want to write a juicy story on the matter, then you make headlines. No, let's agree that, yes, indeed, there is that matter. But you see, in government, there is what we call intergovernmental framework on how to deal with dispute within the state. Now, that takes cognizance of the point that any person or institution is a juristic person. Anybody can go to court for whatever reason, as persons or as institutions. And government, knowing that, put in place what is called intergovernmental framework to handle disputes, precisely to avoid court-related matters. So the attitude of the Premier is that he will stick to this process of a dispute resolution mechanism, and will soon release a statement on this because we are working on it. So rest assured that we will have to abide how government regulates, how the state and its organs must relate and deal with this matter. So once we release the report on the matter, as enshrined in the Constitution, will report accordingly. Thank you very much, Mr. Descom.
No, thank you very much, Premier, the MECs, HODs, colleagues, most importantly, the media guys. Rano leboga thata fela bagaetsho. Re fitlhile mo bokhutlong. KG o ka ya offline yaanong. Le wena Lebza o ka ya offline ka fo dikitsiso ga re di dire online tsone. A go monate mesile ha re go re tle go dira dikitsiso tsa dijo bagaetsho ba re reditse ba le ko ba tshwere ke tlala. All right.